Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 6, episode 5. We're not halfway through. There's no way. But
No, we're like weekend 3.
it was a good episode. I watched it on my iPad this morning in Hawaii. So,
Yeah, Alicia's like vacay mode. So while
yeah.
she's relaxed, I'm going to be business mode.
All right. Well, let's get started. So, check us out on the A&M podcast network. We have this podcast. We have our Vanderpump podcast. We have our One Season Wonders podcast. Come all out. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. I don't know if we have new ones. We'll deal with that
We
later
don't.
when I'm
Don't worry. I
great.
got you.
10 out of 10. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I usually have polls. Not today.
Vacay
So
mode.
sorry.
She
Vacay
good.
mode. And then join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Because I don't have anything pulled up, Meredith's going to do it from here.
Yes, which, I mean, I'm going to breeze right through this. This is Meredith's on vacay mode too. But for $1 a month, you get access to everything we record early in our pre-shows. We didn't do a pre-show this week because I'm mentally in Hawaii too.
We're on vacay mode.
For $2 a month, you get all the things I just mentioned. Plus you get access to our post shows when we go back and do old seasons. So you'll start catching those for Vanderpump as we head into season 4, and then also Summer House throughout the rest of the year. So come join us for that. And then our all-star level with the Lisa status is $5 a month. And not only do you get everything early, all the extra content, but you get to ask Alicia and I some questions.
Which I didn't do this week. Again, I'm vacation. Do you know how hard it is to figure out the time change? Like Meredith it's like 4 p.m. for her and it's noon for me. So
I'm like, hey, it's 4 o'clock my time. We're ready. And I'm sure it's like lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. Okay. But yeah, so join that. And then now we can get started on the episode, which I'm actually excited to talk about. Mostly the ending.
Me too. Which normally we say people's name on the podcast, but I don't know what level that is because I'm not that great at this, Alicia.
I'll do it next week.
I feel like I don't even know my own podcast anymore.
You don't. You're the worst.
But what I can say is hit us up on Patreon because despite this not fun version of the spiel, it is actually fun there. So
I apologize for this week. It's my bad. But we have lives. Just because Bravo waited fucking 2 years to release anything doesn't mean we can't have lives. Okay?
Now that the world is healed, Alicia is having fun. And then I'm back in vacation mode next week too.
Yeah. So good luck to all of you. Okay, anyway. So let's get into this episode. So previously on Summer House, we had Amanda's 30th birthday. Ciara kissed Alex in Spin the Bottle. Lindsay is having hot tub summer and she found a guy she really likes, whose name I think is Mike, but that's later.
You know what? We're Paige and we have no idea because there's a new guy every
there's so
week.
many. Maya just came out of a 5-year engagement. Now she wants to be identified on her own. Amanda wants her 30th birthday to be about her, and everyone got her really nice gifts except Kyle, who got her nothing, and he has a stress die that he deserves. Craig came to the house to visit Paige, but then Paige found out about Craig and Kristen, and then Paige is now playing the same game that Craig was, and Paige was left last episode making out in a closet with Andrea.
Ooh, which is exactly where we pick up.
Listen, I'm doing a live show right now, and my friend is staring at me. She's like, "What is happening on this show?"
I mean, that recap was a lot because I feel like it picked up every drama point from the last few
Craig
episodes.
hasn't been around for a few weeks. Yeah, or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's so hard. This show it used to go every episode was a week, and now it's so popular. Yeah. Now that it's so popular, it doesn't go 1 and 1 anymore. So it's difficult to figure out what the day is.
Well, let's get into this episode. So it's still Friday night, 11:55. Paige and Andrea are making out. Luke is making a fire. Andrea and Paige are done making out, so they go downstairs. Kyle and Alex are enjoying Luke's fire. Maya wants a snack, and mostly she's sad because Lindsay and Danielle went out and said she couldn't come.
This made me sad.
She's just a single girl.
I know. She wants people to go out with, and let's be honest, Ciara and Paige are not the people.
Or Amanda.
Yeah, that's true. Amanda as well.
So Lindsay and Danielle They're out. They're having a good time. Everyone else is in bed. Amanda and Kyle are having baby bottle pops in bed, which is probably the most romantic thing they've done all summer. Paige is telling Ciara about how she never texted Craig back, but then Andrea walks in and he gets into bed with them. And they start talking about how Ciara made out with Alex. And Ciara kind of liked
Mm-hmm.
it, even though he's kind of lame. And then Alex comes into the room and joins on the bed. So it's the four of them, like Vermont. What a time.
Which I like this. This is the beauty of like living with people. Is like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
what Andrea has over Craig is he gets to like lay and hang out and have these like little pillow chats.
Uh-huh. And then he kisses Paige goodnight, which is so cute.
Wow, we know how this
I'm
ends,
rooting
but
for him.
like
I'm
this
rooting
is
for him.
everything I've wanted. I
I'm
wanted
rooting for him.
Andrea to have this time because it
I
is so
know.
fun to watch.
So now we've made it into the wee hours of Saturday morning at 2:25 a.m. The boys go to bed. Everyone's super happy with that fun foursome that was hanging out, Paige,
Mm-hmm.
Ciara, Alex, and Andrea. Danielle and Lindsay make it home and they start drunkenly dancing in the kitchen, eating some pizza. And Lindsay tells Danielle that some guy named Matt, oh, that's his name, it's not Mike, it's Matt, friend zoned Lindsay tonight.
Which
And Danielle
this is the one she went out to see, right?
this is the one she hooked up with all last week that
Yeah,
she
she was
really
supposed
likes.
to go to Mexico with him.
Yes. Um, and Danielle just tells her to sleep it off. So Lindsay's kind of being a drunk mess. I think because she liked him and now she's getting rejected. And she
Yeah.
just has like a tendency to kind of get rejected. But
I was about to say, Lindsay doesn't seem like the type to do well with this, like playing the game. Like she still
yeah,
wants somebody.
she wants her
So,
timeline.
yep. So even if she's hooking up with a guy just for a few days, like she's already thinking, like, all right, this is going to then go into the weekend. We're going to keep this rolling.
Yeah. So it's now Saturday, 8:46 a.m. Danielle's cleaning up the kitchen. Alex is here to make some eggs. Apparently some bacon because everyone smells that, which I'm surprised about because bacon is not low fat
But
or low
I,
cal.
I think he's starting to figure out what other people are eating so he can
Bacon.
make them happy. But he's still going to stick with
Um,
his 2 pounds of ground beef.
It's disgusting. Paige and Ciara did a TikTok in their 90s outfits.
Loved it.
Super iconic. And then they talk about how it's wild that Kyle didn't have a birthday gift for his fiance.
I will say he is lucky that today is Amanda's birthday.
Yep,
Like he kind
today
of
is
has
Amanda's
the rest
birthday.
of the day to hopefully figure it out. But
I mean,
as we know,
he like gives her coffee in the morning, but that bar is set super low because Andrea, who's not even dating Ciara or
yeah.
talking to her, brings her coffee every morning.
And the thing is, it's not like he's just bringing her coffee. He didn't do anything about it for his birthday, her
Yeah,
birthday. Can you imagine if he like put a little sticky note on it that even said happy birthday, I love you, like just something else
nothing.
to elevate it outside of just a normal day of her life.
He does feel guilty and horrible. But
Good.
this is his day. He's gonna make up for it. So now it's Saturday, 11:02 p.m. Um, Andrea brings Paige and Ciara the coffee like he always does, but Maya was now in bed and he didn't know Maya was in here, so he didn't bring her coffee. Which I just thought, I don't know. I understand where this could come is like I'm being left out constantly,
Yes.
but I truly don't think in this situation Andrea was really,
Yeah, if you
didn't want
separate
anything.
this out, like I don't think this even would have really upset
Yeah, I
her,
think it was
but
a
it's like the
build.
compilation of everything. But yeah, this kind of sucks. Like I hope now that Maya is spending more time in that room,
She
Andrea catches
knows.
on and just brings a third coffee. Although carrying 3 cups of coffee is difficult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he spilled on himself with only the two.
I mean, him bringing it for 2 out of 3 girls, no matter who they are, he's the sweetest person in the house. No other guy is helping bring coffee.
I know. And then he does tell Paige that he was in her dream last night. Did he look good?
I so
Smooth.
smooth. You
Even
know what,
Ciara was like, that's so smooth.
Dustin? I want to know if you think that's smooth.
That's smooth. He's a big Andrea fan now. We
I
all are, right?
know.
Big
That's
Andrea
a good one
people.
to pull. I'm gonna pull that to somebody. I feel like there's always little quotes I want to try in real life to see
This
what
is
they
it.
were.
What was the one? If I was friends with Craig, I would tell him that's the one I want. So Paige tells Ciara and Maya that she made out with Andrea last night, but she's not
Mm-hmm.
going to tell Craig because he's out banging hot blondes. So Paige is going to take her hot Italian.
Yeah, you know what? If Craig doesn't want her, there is a hot
No one.
Italian who can tuck her right into bed.
Yep, do it. So then it's Saturday, 12:09 p.m. Andrea is so happy to be connecting with Paige, and he really wants a relationship, and he thinks it'll be with Paige, and he's gonna regret if he doesn't do everything he can to get Paige back.
I
So
mean, this is insane. Like, basically, Paige kind of rejected Andrea, and he is still pining after her. How does
I
Paige like?
know.
Why can't
How
I
does
be in
she
a
do
situation like
it?
this once in my life
I
with
know, like
one
a
boy,
couple.
let
I
alone
know.
two?
Um, Amanda's getting ready for the beach, and all she wants is some rosé, which is a very low bar on her 30th birthday. Lindsay goes into Luke's room and tells Luke about Danielle's friend Matt friend zoning her. And Luke just says, "Don't waste your time."
Luke's just Luke.
He doesn't
He's like,
care.
it's black and white. Don't talk to him anymore.
Lindsay's just done fighting the universe, though. Obviously, the
Lindsay is
universe
kind
doesn't
of
want her
like
pregnant.
Amanda on her birthday, but like Lindsay wants it every single day. She just wants a little attention.
She wants all the attention every day. So it's 1:06 p.m. Kyle got Amanda flowers, and all she says was cool.
Okay, I am Amanda in this situation because she's like the flowers just die. I find
Flowers
them
die.
actually to be
I
depressing.
like flowers. Oh,
I
I
don't
like
I don't want
flowers.
you to buy me flowers. I mean, I'll take them every once in a while. Like it's fun to see them, but like all I think about is how now they're just going to continue to die.
No, I like flowers. I thought this was good. I mean, not good enough, but
This
it
was
was a
a
good start.
start. Yeah.
But then Kyle wants to take her out to dinner, but she has nothing to wear. So she's upset because we know she's a fashionista. Doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
anything to wear.
Like clearly
So
this wasn't planned.
like all she wants is for Kyle to make it seem like he cares. Like she would have taken that pogo stick from Kyle and she would have been happy.
Yes, because no matter Amanda is really chill, that it's like,
Hmm.
I just want to see that you have thought about me.
Yes. So now it's 1:31. We are going to the beach. We're packing up some Capri Suns and Andrea has no idea what that is.
It's fun to see his like outlook on US culture
He's
as he's
so
like
Italian.
getting into it.
And then when we're packing in the kitchen, Paige calls either Ciara Maya or Maya Sierra, but she cannot get it right. And Ciara does say, like, "You're dumb, stop."
Well, she said like,
Because
"Oh, who wanted a muffin?" I can't remember who said they wanted a muffin. It was
no,
one of
she
you
was like,
two.
she called, she pointed to one, was like Maya, and like the
Oh,
opposite, she's like, what's your name? And then she was like,
yeah.
which one of you wants a muffin? But she did call one of
Then the
two black
opposite.
girls each other's names. Yeah,
I missed
it
that
wasn't
part. I
great.
thought it was
And then
just about the
Ciara,
muffin
Ciara
comment
does
when
say
they were
like,
sitting
"You're
in
dumb."
bed.
No, and then Ciara does say like, "You're dumb,
Get it
stop."
together. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we go to the beach. Happy birthday, Amanda.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
Kyle's taking Amanda out on a date tonight, and he's telling Danielle about it. And Danielle tells Kyle about her relationship. Now it's hard because she's starting a new business and like she's spending a lot of money and none of it's coming in. And she wants her and Robert to stay good, but he's in Aspen.
Which,
Who
like,
ain't or not, he's not in
whoa,
Aspen yet. He's in
who knew
Aspen now.
this? Like, I didn't realize she left her job.
I did. She talked about it.
Really? I missed it
Yeah.
somehow. What
Yeah.
was this in like the first episode?
I don't remember. Maybe it was on Instagram. I saw it, but yeah, she started her
Oh,
own company.
because like I don't remember this being a topic, and it makes me sad because we have talked about in past seasons that like we want more Danielle. Like this is so fascinating to me. I wish they would highlight this like they do Loverboy, which
Yeah,
granted Loverboy like seamlessly fits into like the
as a
party summer
brand.
house
Yeah.
lifestyle. Yeah. But I want some content about this on the weekdays when we go back to the city.
Yeah. Well, we don't go back this weekend, so
No.
ugh. So then Kyle says that they finalized their wedding invites and Danielle has Robert on her invite. So she just has to stick it out for 2 more months,
Yep,
which
he's called
Danielle's
out.
upset.
That shows how serious they really are, and like everybody he's a part of the group even though we don't see it on the show as much. Like that really shows us like where he lives in this group.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
Me too.
Um, so we're doing beach things. Amanda gets her rosé. Andrea and Paige have a moment on the beach together. They're very cute. And he says that Paige makes him happy,
Hmm,
from a mountain in Vermont to a beach in the Hamptons.
I
They're
love
very
it.
cute. Um, Maya asked Lindsay and Danielle how the party was. And Maya said she really wanted to go out. And Lindsay just says, like there was this list and she couldn't get Maya on the list. So Maya can come.
Which I appreciated this explanation a little bit more because last night when or I guess it was last episode we really saw the no. It was so harsh. It was just like, no, I can't bring more people. So kind of having a little bit more context to it, I understand where Lindsay's coming from, but being the new girl with Maya, it sucks to not be, I'm going to say, allowed to do
Yeah.
things.
I just wish that in this, Lindsay had been like, I'm really sorry about that. This is what happened.
Yeah,
Like,
or like
like,
it's Saturday
like she
now,
felt
so it's
bad.
like, oh, I'm really sorry, like I couldn't get you to come, but like let's make sure we do something tonight. Like, how can we
Yeah.
make up for it?
Yeah. But they asked Maya how like her relationship status is, and she's like, I don't have one. I'm just, single. Can't meet a guy to save her life. And Danielle and Lindsay are like, come out with us. And Maya's like, okay, well, I just tried.
Yeah, I like it's the genericness of them just being like, well, of course you can hang out with us. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't seem
It doesn't seem welcoming.
like, yeah, like, having Maya with them out is a priority. And
Yeah,
nobody ever wants to be the person who like invites themselves.
exactly. So we do a photo shoot. Maya asks Alex about Ciara, and he gives us nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I I
Just
see Maya trying to include Alex because when you're the person kind of left out, you always want to try and be inclusive to everyone. So she's like trying
yeah.
to make him talk more.
Oh my God,
But you can just
nothing.
tell he doesn't really have anything to say about this.
Nothing. She was like, "How is it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kissed her."
It's
And I
good.
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the end." Then, um, so Andrea then is talking to Ciara and Maya right there, right? And he
Hmm.
calls him over and he's like, "Hey, it's Ciara and Lexi." And Maya's like, "What the fuck? My name is Maya." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, sorry, I called you Lexi, which is a girl I used to date." Like little slip up. And this really angers Maya and like almost saddens her because she's been here for a few weeks and they still are calling her the wrong name. Like this is the second time today she's been called the wrong name.
Yeah, which like I said, I didn't catch the moment Paige did it earlier,
Yeah,
but like to have
Paige
it twice in
totally.
one day, this makes so much, like I see how her emotions really just got to a boiling point on this. Like
Yeah.
I can
And
see
I
how the buildup of this weekend specifically
and I think
made her so sad.
With like Lindsay and Danielle excluding her, and then like
Hmm.
Andrea not bringing her coffee, it's just like she doesn't feel wanted.
There were too many moments like back to back where you can't
Yeah.
brush them off and say like, oh, he just accidentally said the wrong name, because that one instance on his own, like everybody messes up, so like things happen. And it was kind of like a not Freudian slip, but like you just he
Yeah.
Andrea screwed up in that one moment. But when you put all of them together, everything she's dealt with in the last 24 to 48 hours, like her
Mhm.
feelings are really really hurt and she just feels so left out.
So she's visibly upset. She heads to the water with Ciara and she tells Ciara, you know, she's not used to speaking with Andrea. She usually talks to Carl, which is very different because Carl's sober and older and like level headed. And she's just like, I'm not used to people making me feel alone. She
Hmm.
feels like she doesn't fit in. She starts crying. And Ciara said that, she understands it. It feels like high school, which freaked me out because I feel like Ciara is the mean girl in high school, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading Ciara wrong. I could be.
Well, I think sometimes it portrays that when other people don't realize they're doing it, because yeah, I can see what you're saying about Ciara. Like sometimes Ciara gives off this vibe of you can't sit with us to like Lindsay and Danielle. And it so easily happens when you're really close to like one person
Hmm.
or a few people, and then there's this broader group. It feels like there's little cliques inside bigger friend groups, and it's hard to balance when you feel like you can't just walk in and like sit and talk with those people. And I think Maya's
Yeah.
feeling it, to be honest, from everyone. Like even though
Yeah.
Ciara can relate to her here, Ciara did go through this like last year whenever she was new, but I think she clicked really quickly with the girls, that Maya's just feeling it more severely. Like they're coming off of the Vermont trip where they have all these memories with all these guys and like some of the members of the summer house crew. And Ciara, this is her, in a sense, her third house with people.
And I think with the Ciara thing, Hannah was so obsessed with Luke that
Yeah.
she was very like, we need to include Ciara so I know everything. Like here, I
Mm,
know Paige knows Maya, but it's still, Paige is living with Ciara. Paige is, focused on Andrea. And it's just kind
yeah.
of like Maya's trying to figure her way out. And we do find out that she went to private school and she was one of two black kids. And of course, people mixed up their names all the time. And Maya just like, it was triggering when Andrea messed up her name. Like
Definitely.
she wants to be her own person, and Ciara understands. And she opens
She
up
wants to
about
be
how,
seen.
yeah. And Ciara opens up about how last year she was in summer of 2020, when we were, had a civil rights movement happening that's
Hmm.
still going on today. She was living in a house of all white people, basically, in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
So they had no idea. And Danielle was she there last summer? Because Danielle technically isn't white, but
Yes,
she
she
fits
was
in.
there. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think that's
And
what's
Danielle wasn't an ally. I mean, no, no, no. Danielle wasn't like a friend with, like, her and Ciara weren't really friends.
yeah, yeah. Danielle definitely was there last summer. And then you can just see that, and I think Ciara kind of mentions this, that like it's hard to just like bring it up when other people don't have shared experiences. It's hard to
Mhm.
always be the one to bring it up, it seems like, from Ciara's perspective. And even though Danielle isn't white, she's comfortable in that scenario. She's been
Yes.
through many summer houses. So when you're out of your comfort zone, it seems like what Maya and Ciara really are kind of, at least educating me on, is not only are they out of their comfort zone with a new friend group, but then you're in a predominantly white area, which is very out of your comfort zone as well. It's
Hmm.
just like a lot more layers than just being to a new friend group that like a lot
Yeah.
of people of color experience. And me myself as a white, like young adults will never experience. And it's something that um uh, it's that statement I feel like we got a lot in 2020, is like, I understand that I will never understand, but like hearing
Yeah.
this explanation, I feel like gives me a peek behind a curtain that I will never experience, and it just gives me more empathy and awareness. So I'm really happy
Yeah.
that they're showing this.
Definitely same here. Am, for people, I am half white and half Guatemalan. So I'm not technically white to my white friends. Like, I've always
Hmm.
kind of been I don't want to say like the token brown kid, but my friends would always be like, "You're brown." Like, and I
Yeah,
got it. Like, my skin was a different color.
yeah,
But
definitely.
I will never say that I've experienced any kind of real racism, because I think that what we learned in 2020 was that people experience it way worse. And I happen to be like comfortable around, white people. Like, I feel like the Hamptons, I would just like fit right in and not think about it, kind of like
Hmm.
Danielle. But this is like real, because you do notice it whether you're comfortable or not. You're like, I'm the only person of color in this room.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
what's
it's
nice is
super weird.
like that Maya and Ciara have each other to lean on, that hearing it from
Yes.
both of their perspectives, even though they grew up differently,
Thing.
it's nice to see this conversation between them because they can empathize with each other. Whereas if Maya were just to talk about this with Paige,
Paige
I
won't get it. Yeah.
yeah, like I think about myself, if I were Paige, you just sit there and you obviously try to be
Listen.
supportive and listen,
Hmm.
but you will never understand it.
Yeah. So everyone sees Sierra and Maya crying on the beach, and then so afterward, Paige checks in with Maya, and Sierra, or Amanda, checks in with Sierra
Hmm.
and checks, just make sure they're okay. Paige gets Maya some cheese, 'cause that's the solution. Because Maya obviously doesn't want to talk about what was said, but
Yeah.
she's just like, I'm fine. And Paige was like, I get you cheese. We have Cheetos.
Yeah,
We have cheese
they just
sticks.
like,
We
I
have
can see you're
real
sad. Like
cheese.
food helps with
Yeah,
everything. Like here, how can I like love on you without forcing
here's
you to
some
like talk
food.
about this yet? Food.
So it's 6:28 now. We made it home. Kyle yells "Holy nipple hard on," which I'm gonna use from now on.
I was like,
Lindsay
what is going on?
Lindsay has a ton of sand in her ass, which I feel. This has been my vibe all of Hawaii. Um, and Danielle is eating in this blow up chair in her room that she found,
I
which
love it.
it's amazing.
That must be
Um,
from the 90s party on
oh,
Friday night.
I'm obsessed. So now it's 7:21. The boys are gonna grill. Alex is making veggies, of course. It's 8:02. Alex talks to Maya and tells, Andrea that, they talked about him, or Alex talks to Maya and tells Maya that Alex and Andrea talked about Ciara. And, or no, wait, did I get this weird?
Yeah. Well, okay. So Alex
Alex
and Maya
talked to
are in
Maya.
the kitchen, and
Yes.
Maya, I think, wanted to make cookies. I don't know if
Yes,
this
she
is the
was
moment,
making
but there was
cookies.
something going on. in the kitchen, and Alex, I think, was trying to be supportive and just like mentioned to her, like, hey, let me know if you need anything. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
similar to Paige, trying to be like, I'm here for you, but want to give you your space at the same
that's
time.
it. And then Alex talks to Andrea,
Drea, yeah.
and Andrea lets Alex know that Ciara likes his looks, but Alex is too routiny, which Alex is like, well, that makes me a good boyfriend. But honestly, Alex
Yeah,
is
he's
just
like,
boring.
routine means commitment. And you know
He's
what?
just
Like
the
long
worst.
term, I would agree with that. Like once,
No,
well, no, long term, I think like having a routine and like showing that you care is something that is a positive. But when you are starting something off, that's not how you hook the person. It's about the fun
yeah,
and the spontaneous and the fun banter. Like,
he's boring.
yes, like if that's what you're like, that's the hill you're gonna die on, then fine, but you're never gonna get someone off the bat. You have to think about
Yeah,
it like fishing. You got to put a bait on the hook, and commitment is not an enticing bait.
hate him. So then the smoke alarm starts going off, and we start blaming Alex's broccoli. But it's not Alex's broccoli. It was actually Maya trying to make her cookies.
No, no,
But
no, it was the fridge.
oh, it was the fridge going
Yeah,
off?
yeah.
Oh,
Alex is like, it's
well,
not my broccoli. You left the
whatever
fridge
happened
open.
then, it was the oven was on, and so
Mm-hmm.
they turned it off. So then
Mm-hmm.
Maya comes out and she's like, "What the fuck? I was gonna make cookies," and she's super over it. Like she is. This is like the
Yeah, she's at
straw
the
that broke the
point where
camel's
like,
back.
and I get this, where you're like, everything is pissing me off now. Like I
Yeah,
can't even make cookies without somebody interfering and not wanting me to.
yeah.
Which is
So
not what
Amanda,
would happen, but like you start like
you
internalizing
tell
everything, and
yourself that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Amanda and Kyle leave for their date. So now it's 9:10 p.m. And the house really quick talks about how Kyle got Amanda nothing for her 30th birthday. So then we go to the date that they have. And it's their first date since February, which was with Ciara and Austin, which just is a
I
fucking mess.
mean, again, how do we
So
get to the altar of this wedding and they
I
haven't been on a
literally
date in like
I'm not
six
trying to
months?
think about the fact that they're getting married because it angers me. So then um Kyle just says he feels like he dropped the ball with them as a couple. And they've discussed this in therapy. He tells Amanda he didn't get her a gift. He doesn't spend time with her.
I do
Her love language,
appreciate him being honest and upfront at the date. Like, I did not get you a present.
I do too. And she understands that like Kyle and his family are never they're not
Hmm.
big gift givers. Kyle has anxiety about giving gifts, but literally he could have gotten her a fucking hairbrush and she would
I
have been like,
know
thank
that's the
you so
thing,
much.
is like, it sounds like he's like giving himself a pass by being like, I just get anxious, so I don't do anything. And it's like,
No,
you know
you're
what, we
bad.
all do think, we all have to live in a world where like different things give us anxiety, and we have to move on anyways. So
Yeah,
you're telling me that your relationship isn't a priority and Amanda isn't a priority just because you get anxiety over it, then maybe you
I
shouldn't
know.
be in a relationship.
Plus, he could just get her a dog because he knows that's what she wants.
Oh,
And
and then
they've,
that underhanded comment about because he can't love
oh
her
my God.
enough.
Yeah, he'll get her a dog because he can't make her happy. And
Yeah, that's it.
Amanda doesn't deny it. She's just like, can I have a dog?
Yeah,
Does that mean I should
honestly,
get a dog?
if this is what gives me the dog, then I'll take it.
She just wants to feel like he cares. And she doesn't. And it's sad. And again, I
Yeah.
don't know how we get to the altar, but we'll eventually get there. The season finale when we get there.
I
I'm assuming.
it's gonna feel like a rabbit coming out of a hat, like
Oh
magic,
my
that they
God.
made it to the altar.
The fact that we know the endings to all of these storylines, and I'm still like rooting for Andre and Paige. And like,
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
how
I just,
anyone
again,
got married.
something magical has to happen, I feel like, because
Dumb,
it looks like from pictures that like Craig and Paige are together at the wedding.
dumb.
So
It's
how are
all
these two
dumb.
couples
We
at
know
this finish
Lindsay and
line?
Carl get together. How do we get
Yes.
there?
What
What
is
the hell
there
happened?
was something in the water in the Hamptons
There's
this summer.
some in 2022. So it's 9:24 p.m. on Saturday still. Kyle and Amanda are still on their date, and then there's a dog that appears and walks by, and she's like, "Oh my God, is that my gift?" Oh my God, this lady's walking away with my present. And Kyle's just like, "My God, can you stop?" Meanwhile,
After he
at
already admits he did not
yeah,
get her a present, Amanda still doesn't believe it. Like, he's not trying to throw
still,
you off the scent. He
I think she's
legitimately did
fucking
not
with
get you
him.
one.
She's straight up fucking with him. So the house has dinner together. The boys made dinner. Andrea and Paige are sharing food, which is so fucking cute. And Maya made cookies, and everyone's so happy. But as soon as Maya gets up to go get the cookies, that's when they start playing this drinking game where you take a shot of the tequila and then you have to say one nice thing about the person across from you. When this is what Maya needs, and the minute she walks away, no one's gonna say anything nice.
Which again, it's like another tick in her mind. Not that like anybody is doing anything severely wrong, but it makes her feel left out, that they couldn't even wait for her to get back to like start
with
this
the
game.
cookies that she made for everyone.
I know.
So Lindsay gives Andrea a compliment and says that he has a heart under all his abs, which just makes him better. So Alex says that she loves getting to know Alex because he's like an onion she could peel. And then Maya comes out and is like, hi, here's I have more cookies, but I want to bring them all because my FOMO is so bad. Like she admits, she's like, I just want to be included. And
she's like, I didn't want to spend the extra 60 seconds in the house because I knew fun things were happening out here without me.
And then they're just like, okay, game over. We're going to clean up anyway. And she's like, oh. But they love her cookies. 10 out of 10.
I mean, that helps, but like she already knows she makes bomb ass cookies. She wants to know that she is loved and seen for herself, not her cookies.
So then Maya doesn't feel like going out tonight. She's just exhausted trying to fit in. It's a buildup from being excluded and then being called the wrong name. She's telling Paige and Ciara this in the bed. And she just says, unfortunately, Andrea like set this tone and she feels like she's invisible. And then like clockwork, Andrea comes into the room. And so we kick him out. And we're like, can you give us a minute, please?
Yeah.
And Maya's just sad and anxious and unraveling. And she just wants people to understand her experiences she has as a person of color in the Hamptons. Ciara understands, but not the whole house. Like even Paige was like, okay, I'm so sorry.
And like once you, I feel like, start expressing these emotions, it's hard to like put it all back in.
Yeah.
Especially to like go out, you know, like you just feel like you're putting on a front, and that actually makes you feel even worse because then like if you put on a front, then nobody even notices you're upset, which makes you feel even less seen.
I know. So she's not going out. But you know who is going out? Ciara, but not until she poops. And she has 2 minutes and she poops in 1 minute and 54 seconds.
Countdown to the Uber.
But then everyone's out except Amanda and Kyle, right? And Maya. But Amanda and Kyle get home and they walk through the hallway right past the bathroom where Ciara pooped. Literally, Amanda's like, it smells like farts. Did you fart? He's like, no. And they're like, it just smells bad. And I was like, poor Ciara's poop is really getting a lot of face time here.
Oh God.
Okay, so it's 1:28. Everyone's starting to get home. Lindsay yells at her shoes because they fucking suck. She didn't even want them on her shoes.
I love drunk people and like watching them. She's like literally just talking to the shoes and pointing at them. I didn't even want you on my feet.
I love. So then it's Sunday morning. Luke feels like shit. Kyle lights a candle. Amanda needs snacks. Craig calls Paige. And basically we didn't see the whole conversation, but
because it looked like it was 5 minutes long, but Paige says it was an hour.
Yeah. And it's just like Craig wants to come visit again. It's like, okay. So then Paige goes to tell Ciara. Craig called at 8 a.m. and they were on the phone for an hour about the Kristen stuff. And Kristen told Craig that Craig's not going to make Kristen look like an idiot with Paige. And if he wants Paige, then he should have Paige, which honestly doesn't really sound like Kristen.
I agree. I think Craig is embellishing this to Paige, but I do believe a conversation between Craig and Kristen happened, being like, hey,
stop talking
Paige knows, like, we gotta, like, can we shut this down? Or like, listen, I just want to like fill you in on like what happened, because they were filming. So I bet he honestly did talk to Kristen out of like, respect for her, being like, hey, I was just on the show and this blew up. Yeah.
And I think she's probably more mad at dropped her name than anything.
Yeah, I bet she was like, why did this even come up? Like, this should have been, because she's been in reality TV before. You know, I've heard from the housewives that like people make pacts not to bring stuff up. So in my opinion, like I would be mad at Craig if I was Kristen, to be like, you should have made this pact to not have this discussed.
Yeah, or like sign something on the show. I don't even
like
know.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Yes. So then Craig says, but Kristen lied on Instagram, probably because Kristen denied hooking up with him,
She
which
did.
was
I
hilarious.
remember, and she never comments on anything, but it was when she was like seen
No,
with so many guys and like she was hanging out with Craig and Austin and she kept saying like, I'm not allowed to have guy friends. All
guy
you guys think I'm
friends.
dating them. Like, why can't I
Yeah.
just have friends?
Well, Kristen Cavallari comes to us all. Um, but then Craig also asked a lot of questions about Andrea, and Paige is just confused. And Ciara was just like, wow. And that was it.
I think Paige is in the best spot between this
I
whole
think so
love
too.
square triangle house thing because
I
she knows
agree.
that Kristen doesn't want to be embarrassed to Paige. And that's how Paige felt last week.
Yeah.
Like
Honestly, this is a big compliment for Paige.
yes. So I feel like she's gonna start coming off like looking so great compared to Kristen because like
Yeah.
Kristen's embarrassed. And then obviously Craig is worried about Andrea, and he should be worried because think about that makeout in the closet we got at the start of the episode.
So everyone starts cleaning, but Amanda and Paige do a little check-in, and Paige tells Amanda about buying a ticket to the Bahamas and Kyle being the worst and then having to cancel it because he doesn't have a passport.
Oh God.
And then Paige lets Amanda know about the Craig shit, and Paige is being really over it, and she might give Andrea another chance. And then Craig told Paige that he likes her and doesn't want Andrea and Paige flirting. And Paige is like, but what am I gonna do? Not take
Oh
attention?
my gosh. I
I love.
mean, this is exactly where I wanted this summer to be. And I really did not think this
Same,
is where we were going to end up whenever
same.
the season started and we knew Paige and Craig were dating.
But it's like Andrea, because they start packing now. Andrea gets her bags. When Craig was here, he didn't get her
Yes.
bags because we watched it. We watched that shit, and she brought down her own bag.
It is very interesting to see because I didn't really pick up on Andrea's like great things. Well, the first weekend we saw him just because like, oh, whatever, that's Andrea. But now having Craig, like to compare it to Craig, I'm like, look at all the things Andrea does.
I know.
He literally dotes on her, but not in a suffocating way, in
Hmm.
my opinion. I mean, maybe
I
Paige feels
agree.
suffocated, but I
I
don't.
agree. I don't.
I don't.
It's not happening.
I mean, you can come bring me coffee.
So everyone's packed up, everyone's in the living room, we're chilling. Everyone tells Maya how much they love their cookies. And then the whole group is sitting there, and Ciara's like, this is a really good time because we're gonna have like a chat really quick. And
Mm-hmm.
Ciara says we need to check in. Basically, the Hamptons are primarily white, and her and Maya have been talking, and they relate because it's been really difficult for them to kind of feel included and like they fit in, especially in this house that's
Yeah.
primarily white. And Maya starts crying, and she expresses that being called the wrong name is very triggering, and that she doesn't blame anyone, but it is really something that has hurt her and all
Yes.
this stuff. And then they cut to Andrea, and he's crying like so hard, like he has tears running down his face, and he
Mm-hmm.
apologizes for calling her the wrong name and ignoring her and like not giving her the attention. And he just said
Yeah.
he has so many memories with Paige and Ciara that he didn't realize that like he was even
Yeah, it's like
ignoring
his
her.
excitement about Paige and Ciara has
It's
overshadowed him
overshadowed.
getting to know Maya and
Uh-huh.
her identifying that I think has allowed him to see that.
Brings it up, yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks that like Maya has to point out every time somebody has like hurt her feelings, but I think it does warrant like context into like what people's motives are behind things because I think
Yes.
Maya or Ciara, one of them mentions that like they know that people aren't doing things maliciously to like make her like purposely make her feel left out, but that doesn't mean her feelings still aren't getting hurt. So like addressing them and
Yes,
letting people know like what they're doing that like makes her feel this way so they can change their behavior. I just
exactly.
think this was very constructive, and I think I mean, I take notes for the show, but like mentally, I took a lot of notes on how I handle situations and like being direct and confrontational is not actually a bad thing. Like it's really nice that like they have the strength because like I can't imagine doing this with all my friends all the time. Like I really empathize with Ciara and Maya for even having to bring this
Mhm.
up. But I think, it opened their housemates' eyes and hopefully like we can see some adjustments in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And Maya does express that her experiences are different compared to
Mm-hmm.
them. And even Luke says, coming into this house wasn't easy for him. And he's like this, white male.
Yeah.
So the fact that like this black female is coming into the house, it's not going to be easy for her.
Yeah.
It's going to be way harder.
It's like, you don't just have to be considerate about having a new person who's trying to make friends. Like you have to be considerate that they already stand out and feel left out.
Yeah.
Just because of the color of their skin. So like have extra compassion and like check in with your friends, like all of your friends on how they're doing, because everybody has such different experiences in life that something may be triggering to them, and checking in with them will get to the root of the problem. Like if somebody would have checked in with Maya, you know, maybe on Friday night and just been like, hey, how are things going with your transition to the house?
Yeah, she might
maybe
have
this could have brought up a little bit more naturally, and Maya and Ciara wouldn't have had to do the legwork.
Yes. So then Alex even expresses that at their big party, people thought he worked there because he is of Asian descent. I think he's Filipino. And he even got called Jackie Chan, which is just ridiculous.
I like can't believe I wonder if they just a camera wasn't on him at the time, but I can't believe we didn't get to see that.
That
Yeah.
might have even been like at a different time. Like maybe he was just talking about his experiences, but I was like, oh my God.
No, he said it was the 4th of July party.
The 4th of July.
Because somebody was asking him for the house Wi-Fi password, and he was like, I don't work here, like I live here. And they were like, okay, like brushing him off.
Yeah. Weird. And then Danielle, you know, says that she has felt this way too, like we talked about, but she has had the time to really get used to everything, that she doesn't feel this way, but she relates. She knows what they're going through. And then they do discuss how much courage it took Maya to speak up, especially in this group, and Ciara's crying, because, you know, it's hard to have to like feel like you have to prove yourself. And honestly, this is when I started crying. I was crying this morning watching this.
I really love that they're showing this moment, because
I
think this is a very real life moment. And like I said, I mentally took notes on like how I could change my behaviors, but I just there's not much I can say, because I'm just in awe of Ciara and Maya for like being so brave to talk about this and bring it up. But that's also not their responsibility to like make sure they're constantly being heard and thought of. And so I think the house took it really well, especially Kyle. Like he was saying, like it should be like on us too. Like you shouldn't have to bring this stuff up, and we appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
It helps them learn. It helps them grow.
Like we don't want to be these people, and like, you know, where we thought we were being such great friends, you know, maybe we weren't, and that's okay, but like let's learn and grow from it and be better.
Yeah, and everyone seems really receptive. They want to understand them better and what they go through, their struggles. And then, you know, they're gonna start to check in. Everyone kind of is crying. Paige starts sobbing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm crying again. And they do like a hug.
Paige feels guilty. Like she's the one who brought Maya into this group, and then realized like, oh, I've been so caught up with my boy drama and, you know, Amanda's drama that like I let you and how much I care about you fall off my plate. And you know what, things happen. Like nobody's perfect, but like I think it kind of was a reality check for her that like I need to step up in my friendship.
Yeah. So everyone's crying, but everyone's hugging. We do that group hug. And honestly, this got a lot of great things on social media from what I could tell, just because a lot of other shows have tried to like have this conversation, and it's always really horrible.
Yeah.
And it always comes off as really racist. Honestly.
Yes. Yeah. Like people get defensive when, you know, you ask for them to show up for you or trying to explain your experiences, or not my experiences, but like, it seems like Bravo cast members, anytime they've tried to share their experiences, the white cast members have become very defensive.
Yeah, it's not very receptive.
And I feel like this one was a lot different.
Great. So we're gonna end on this high note. That's how the episode ends. It was fantastic.
It made my heart sad and happy at the same time.
I was crying. It was so cute. It was just like so heartwarming. But next time we have a bondage party, I think. We have pole dancing. Paige and Andrea start flirting. Ciara is super over Alex, but makes out with Carl. Which I hate it.
I do too, because like, don't you dare take Carl down.
Kyle and Amanda fight again, and then Kyle says really horrible things. So can't wait.
At the end of the next time on, I was like, again, how the fuck do we get to the altar?
So let's do fun, not fun. I have my fun.
Ooh, okay.
I'm ready. Yep. I'm gonna fun Maya.
Oh, I love that.
She was able to start a conversation, even though she was kind of not fun this episode. I think her expressing her feelings is a big
Yeah.
win, and her finding support in Ciara.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna go Maya too because
Oh, good.
I think sometimes I think we all get caught up on the actual funness of life and
Yeah,
don't want to have difficult conversations to not be fun. Um,
agreed.
but like sharing your emotions and your feelings and what's going on in your life is supposed to be something you can do with your friends. And if you can't, then that
Agreed.
means you don't have great friends, or maybe you don't have enough confidence in yourself to be able to share those. I've been there
Mhm.
where like I think people are going to respond a certain way. So you just like talk yourself out of it. And you know what? I think sharing your thoughts and feelings is really fun.
Yeah. You go first for not fun because I don't have one.
I'm gonna say Kyle. I mean, he even had an extra
That was my
24
only one.
hours to get a
Okay.
freaking present. And he does this last minute date plan. Like, I don't like that. Dinner is so easy to plan ahead. Like, you should have been
Yeah,
thinking about Amanda's birthday and should have already told her. Like, this wasn't a surprise,
I agree.
dinner or surprise party. So, what you're basically saying is not only do I not have a gift, but I've never thought about doing anything for you at all for your birthday. Amanda planned her own birthday party. So, Kyle had
Yeah.
nothing to do with that.
I times two that. That was just the worst. I'm sorry. It just was the worst.
It angers me because
It angers me.
similarly, I mean, it's not similar to how Maya feels unseen, but like this, like
Makes Amanda
Amanda
feel
feels
unseen in her
unseen.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's not okay. Like that's the worst feeling in the world because if you're um even if your friends support you, like feeling unseen in any aspect of your life is really difficult. So yeah.
It is. Okay, sorry that this episode was so short, but I'm in Hawaii, so
That's okay. I think it's kind of a filler despite the
it
really
is.
great talk they had.
Yeah. I
I
wanted to just get to the talk. That was
I
the part I was like,
I agree and I really really enjoyed it, but
okay, but bye everyone. We'll be next week. Meredith is on vacation mode, but then after that, we're back fully.
we're messy, but don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on
Yes.
Instagram, and thanks so much, everyone. Until next week.
Bye.
Bye.